What's the last couple months been like for you? And then walk me through, I guess, the first 10 practices now of spring camp. To start by telling me what drew you to Wake Forest and how's the acclimatization there?
I've always heard of Wake Forest. It's a national brand, so you always knew about it growing up, playing video games. You kind of knew who Wake Forest was. But it came on our radar when Coach Dicker got the job. He's a dude that I've known since, really I was 19 years old, 20 years old, playing in North Dakota State. And Scotty, as a defensive coordinator, getting an opportunity to work with those guys. That's a no-brainer opportunity for me. Spend time with them, continue to learn and grow. People think I'm a lot older than I am, but I'm still a young coach, still learning and growing. So I'm just happy to come help out any way I can. Help these dudes get better. Help Scotty, help Coach Dicker out. Let's go win a bunch of football games.
How would you kind of condense and summarize the first two practices of camp for your guys? First 10?
Yeah, first 10. Our guys are a bunch of new installs, right? So we want to see them play with great fundamentals. We want to see them play with great technique. We want to see them execute consistently. I think we're getting there. We're getting better. I would say we're above where I thought we would be at. But it's a new defense. We try to do a good job before camp prepping and getting them ready to go. But you got to go do it. So you see guys improving every single day. So I'm pleased with where the guys are at.
Where does leadership come from in that uniform? Aside, obviously, from your voice, you need some team where's that coming from?
Yeah, Nick Anderson is a leader. Rue's a leader. Devon's a leader. Rue and Vaughn kind of lead by example, but they keep everybody in check. Nick's kind of a vocal leader. I think we got a really good group, so a bunch of leaders in there. We got some young leaders that's growing up too.
Coach Dicker commented last week, I think it was, as he took the position, he kept hearing, the secondary needs help, the secondary needs help. And in camp so far, it's playing pretty well. Are you seeing that as well?
It's hard to tell. We're not playing games, right? I'm being honest.
Yeah.
We're not playing any games. We're not playing anybody. I think my job is to always look at how we can improve, celebrate when they're doing a good job, but I think my job is to keep the guys grounded, make sure they're improving every single day so we're ready for the fall. Everything is designed to get us ready for the fall. And make sure that they're going through situations that they screw up on, or things that we know are coming down the line based on teams we're going to play in the ACC or on our schedule. So I like where they're at right now, but I can tell you, we're not there yet. We got a long way to go. We got a lot of improvement to do. That sounds like coach speak, but that's the truth.
I know, it does. That's fine. What do you think when you talk about your three top leaders or whatever, top performers, guys who are going to be last time of the season? It seems like they have a diversity of skill sets that probably kind of complement each other. Do you see that as well?
Yeah. You look at Vaughn, he surprises you every day with his ability to play man. Nick is just super smart. He's the smartest dude. He might be the smartest dude in the secondary. He can help communicate with everybody. He's going to help the whole defense out. And Rue's like a dude that can run. He can be red line to red line. He can roll down. He can play man. He can be a good blitzer. So I think it complements each other. We can be able to move guys around on third down and be able to match up, how we need to match up.
Is there anything about your early experiences here at Wake Forest that came as a surprise to you?
Anything that was a surprise? No, I kind of take everything. You've been doing it for 15 years, so I don't have a lot of expectations. I guess I'm surprised. Working with Coach Dicker, kind of seeing him as a head coach. Man, he's a leader. Man, he leads those dudes. You never know what that's going to be like. Because I've known him from a different light. Now I'm working with him, so he's a real leader. He has a plan every single day, so I'm not surprised. But it was fun. It's fun to see that every single day for me, for my growth. It's a good thing to see.
That's kind of cool because I only get to see it.
Yeah.
And to me, it's so it's kind of funny to see that. Nick Anderson talked the other day after the scrimmage. Play is becoming more instinctual.
Yeah.
He's not having to think as much on the field because he's starting to get this defense down. Have you seen that as well for you guys?
Yeah. We had a new install today, so you had a couple more wrinkles, maybe minor adjustments to the defense. nothing major, but yeah, absolutely. The guys are playing faster.
What's up?
They're communicating their anticipations, emotions. We're getting better. You see the guys being who they are now and not thinking about, I got to go here. What am I doing right here? What's the rotation at? You see them, being able to line up and kind of see what the offense is doing. So that's progress.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Great meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, walk me through what was it that drew you, I guess, 2-3 months back, to come to Wake Forest and join the staff of Coach Dicker?
Well, really, getting to know Coach Dicker in the process. We were talking, really felt his energy, his buzz, and I think he had a really good plan. Ultimately to win and have success with the way the landscape of college football has been changing, and then obviously, I remember, Wake Forest, it feels like the last 20 years, certainly since I've been really watching football, has been a really successful football program, and I remember them, watching them play Clemson in the ACC championship game, so I knew that it was also a place where there was, you can go win and have success, and all those factors kind of, drove me and my family here. We're happy about it.
How's the transition process gone for you? Has there been anything about the first 2-3 months at Wake Forest that's been a surprise?
There's been surprises, but I wouldn't say in a bad way. I've been blown away with the level of community that this campus has, where I've been at other places and I've been at some great spots, great spots, but sometimes you didn't even know that you were working at a college, and to be like, the football facilities right in the middle of campus, we can walk over to the cafeteria and have lunch, and to be involved with the students and the faculty have been, it's really eye-opening, incredible experience. And as far as the players, they've been outstanding. Taking to the new system, buying into what we're doing, and you can see the growth.
How would you best describe your general offensive system that you would like to get implemented at Wake Forest, not just in 2025, but as the years go forward?
Well, it's a pro-style system with a little bit of college flavor. I wouldn't say it's anything, we're not reinventing the wheel, but, one of the things I think is really flexible to who we have. So, a lot of different style of quarterbacks have played in this system, a lot of different style of receivers, running backs, tight ends, and even offensive linemen. So it's really tailored to the type of players that we can bring in and putting the best players in the spots to feature their best skill set. So, I wouldn't give it a particular, hey, this is what it is, but hopefully see if we play fast, and physical. And I think that will be more of our MO moving forward in our identity.
Obviously, at your last stop at South Alabama, scored a bunch of points, got a bunch of yards. Before that, you were at Alabama and you saw some of the best college football players, in the nation. This year, you've got Damon Claiborne, as your future running back. It seems like part of the scheme will be to get him the ball as often as possible. How does he kind of match up to some of the other players you've seen in the past in your coaching career?
Well, in terms of how special he is, he's special, and I would say in terms of comparisons, not to shy away from comparisons, but he is his own player. He's a ball of dynamite. Probably as good of a jump cutter and exploding as I've seen. He's got great vision. He's got toughness in pass pro. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. There's a plethora of ways that he can be used in our scheme, which is invaluable to our offense and our football team. So I know what you're asking. He's right up there with them, but he's his own player. He's as unique a player as I've been around, and he's been one of the bright spots since we've gotten here in terms of his work ethic and then showing up and bringing it every day in practice.
How encouraging is it for you moving forward that in that room you don't just have Damon, that special guy, right?
Right.
But you've got a bevy of guys behind him that are doing some really good things in camp.
Oh, yeah. I mean, young Drew Pickett has, exploded on the scene. Having a great spring training, Ty's doing a great job. There's been a lot of depth that we're starting to build. And, those guys are growing in confidence. Couldn't be more pleased with the work that they've put in, running hard, running physical, breaking tackles against a very, very physical defense. So, I think, we'll have some depth in that room for sure.
What would you like to tell fans who are curious about how things are going at quarterback so far? Probably as little as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really going well. One of the things that, we've seen really progress in is, mistakes obviously are going to happen, and they're going to happen at every position. And I think overall, and this is not just quarterbacks, probably the group in general, the same mistakes aren't being made twice. These kids are very attentive, they listen, they're eager learners, and so we see a mistake made on one day, and that mistake doesn't show up again. And I think that's what you've been seeing in the quarterback room, and just their overall comfort level with the offense and commanding the offense has grown immensely. We certainly have a good battle brewing.
At receiver, I'm personally seeing a lot of size and a lot of potential, but not yet a ton of proven, right, the commodities. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, I think it's probably in terms of game experience, you're right. But, I like, the motto we have here is iron sharpens iron. And, you're really starting to see those guys come into their own, learning what types of players they are, what they can do, what they need to stay away from is probably about as important as playing wide out as any trade as you can have. And you really start to see a lot of different guys make plays and finishing on the ball, making contested catches. Once again, playing fast, playing physical, perimeter blocking, ball in hand, running with toughness. So even though that group may lack maybe a little bit of game experience, they're really starting to come along and develop in the offense.
And you're kind of working this offense and getting these things installed while you're still down a handful of offensive linemen, right?
Yeah, and that's probably been one of the great things about the spring is the opportunity that it presents for other guys to step up and maybe get reps that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten. Certainly in spring training, they're always going to get them in fall camp. But, to see guys that really, they are like brand new to college football in general. Doesn't matter the fact that the offense changed or not. They're just new to college football, and to see their growth and the ability for them to function as a unit, which is always tough when their lineup is changing, and it's a different five in there. Every series, the ability to communicate has gotten so much better as spring's progressed. Really pleased with that group as well.
Speaking of returners, how have the folks that have been at Wake Forest for 3 or 4 years, how have they taken to your approach and to these new offensive schemes?
Oh, I think really well, and I got a lot of respect for Warren and Coach Clausen. These kids are highly disciplined, and they are very attentive, and they, there's probably, there are some new things that we're doing, but, there's still some carryover. Offense at the end of the day is going to be offense, and, you've seen the transition, go smoother than maybe you would have even anticipated, and I think that's down to, their discipline, their mindset being in the right spot, and then continuing to learn, grow, and progress.
How scary is it for you, and we'll wrap up with this, that there's really only 4 more practices before the spring showcase, and then you don't get to get the guys in this environment again for another couple months?
I wouldn't say, scared would be the word. I know what you're saying. You just wish you could keep going. I would say not so much that this spring's been really fun. It has been awesome. We have an incredible group of guys, incredible group of men that I think are going to represent Wake Forest the right way. And you don't want to leave the field. You know, you just kind of wish you could just keep going, because every day there's excitement, there's energy, there's flying around, there's great learning going on. You're seeing guys grow and develop, which is probably one of the more rewarding things that you can get in coaching, is just to see kids take the next step, and that's what they're doing. So it is flying by, you know, and you wish it would slow down, but, you know, it's been a really exciting spring.
Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.